Hi, Kelvin.
Hello, Adriana. What's up?
Good. How are you?
Good. How's everything with you?
Everything's going good. Nice to
Awesome.
be
Well,
talking to you
I
today.
know. So, welcome to the Hits 97.3 Instagram Live. For those who don't know, we are going to be celebrating I'm MDC Day, which is September 6th. And Adriana will be one of the first interviews that we have lined up throughout this whole week. But we're starting our first day with you interviewing me. And I guess we're going to talk about everything MDC and all the amazing things that they've done, especially for students like myself. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And I guess we'll start from there. Adriana, how are you doing?
I'm doing amazing. It's great to hear that you went to Miami-Dade College.
Proud MDC alumni. I went to the Kendall campus back in 2011, which is crazy. That's like 9 years ago. So I'm dating myself a little bit, but yes, 9 years ago, I went to MDC Kendall campus. Honestly, I had a great 2 years. Like I enjoyed my first 2 years. I started classes like at 7 a.m. And that was the first and only semester I ever did that. And then ever since then, I kept going down and down and down to later night classes, which I loved.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
So you were obviously a radio host for Hits 97.3. So I
Yes.
wanted to ask you if you could tell me a little bit more about how you developed a passion for communications.
And it's exactly where I started, which was at Dade. I went into school not knowing if I wanted to be a columnist, if I wanted to be a news reporter, if I wanted to do anything in that aspect of media print. And luckily at Dade, I had a really great mass communication teacher. I believe it was Pasquale, if I'm not mistaken. But he was there during my time, and I had great mass communication classes, and I had the tools to work with other students that were interested in that, because in high school you have the newspaper and you have TV, but it's just not the same, obviously. In college. So I was just so lucky that I was surrounded by just badass people in college who all wanted to work hard and be in the same field. So thankfully I got that at Dade.
Perfect. Was there a specific moment that motivated you or that helped you see that you wanted to be a radio host? Maybe something that you did at Miami-Dade, an interaction that you had?
I had, till this day, I think one of the best professors of my life probably was at Dade. And his name was Professor Duaso. He was my English like 101, like one, I think my first class at Dade. And he was blind. And I really like, I didn't know what I was signing up for. I was signing up for a blind English teacher. And I was like, but he has amazing ratings on Rate My Professor. I don't know if you guys still use that, but I, like, back in my time, I used it. And it was crazy. Like, I have never learned so much about imagery and using visuals in my writing. And that really just sparked my interest in, like, I guess being better at my craft and being better at whatever I wanted to do, whether that was speaking in person or that was writing. And he was just so cool. He was so cool. He was so engaged with his students. He had a TA with him, but his TA was also his assistant, and we would constantly meet after class, and it was so dope. So he really did inspire me in the best possible way. So
That's incredible.
mm-hmm.
Now, so we've talked about some of the things you've learned at Miami-Dade. Can you go a little bit more into the challenges that you faced throughout your career? So what were some of the challenges that you encountered from going to Miami-Dade, graduating from Miami-Dade, and then becoming a professional radio host?
Some of the challenges, like I guess after graduation.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of, okay, so college will teach you how to do things and how to execute and all that good stuff, which is obviously important. That's how you land the job. But I wish I knew a little more about politics, you know what I mean, in this entertainment industry. Politics is really important because once you graduate, you're not going to be the star of a show. And that's just the truth of it all. You're not going to be the star and the number one person, which a lot of times when I graduated, like I felt like I was doing everything at Dade and at UF. And I was like, all right, my resume is packed, but it was packed with college projects. So once I finished, I was like, all right, I know I'm going to be good. I know I have so much stuff on my resume. And when you go out to the real world, you're competing with people who are leaving from other markets, who are have already done the real world experience. So that was something that was definitely a challenge. It was politics, but also just experience. Like at the same time, like you had to pay your dues, and that's a challenge in itself, because you feel like you're the big fish in college, and then once you're in the real world, you're back to being a small fish all over again. So that was my main challenge.
So taking that experience in your account, what would you advise to students at Miami-Dade who want to follow the same career path as you?
A lot of free work. A lot of free work, because honestly, I did an internship during college. And that was my saving grace, honestly, because yes, I had experience in the college work, but I didn't have real life experience. So with my internship, I was able to connect and network with other students, and not other students, but other real life professionals. So once you make a really good impression on those professional people, you keep in contact with them, and hopefully something opens up for them to consider you to it. So that's my main thing, is opening your circle, making sure that you have connections. I'm not going to lie to you, I'm not like the number one person with networking and keeping up to date with people. Like with my own friends, I'm not the best at it. But it is important. I probably would have gotten hired way faster if I kept those connections, and you don't have to be thirsty about it. You know, you can easily hit up someone you used to work for at an internship and tell them like, hey, like, what do you think about this project that I'm working on? Because you're always going to be working in this field. You're never just going to take a break and relax. I always bring up this story. Everyone's probably tired of me saying it, but I worked at the DMV, bro. Like, I worked at the DMV. I couldn't find anything that I worked at the DMV, and I worked at the courthouse too for a little bit. And it was like, I was doing 9 to 5, took up all my time. But once I got home, it was like, all right, let me make a video. Let me write some stuff up. Let me write some blogs. Let me do something with my fitness. So constantly I was creating things in order to show people. So whenever the time was ready, always make sure that you have your projects set to display and show off to a potential manager at whatever job you want to work at.
Okay. Sounds like good advice. What about, have you felt so my question is, after you graduated from Miami-Dade College, did the connections that you made at Dade still help you? Like, did you feel that you still had a community to rely on?
So the craziest part is that I'm still friends with the same people in my last class. I think it was international relations. And it just so happened that we sat in a corner, and we weren't in the corner, actually. We were like in the dead center of the classroom, but we were all going to UF. So before I left Miami-Dade, I went straight to UF to their communication post. And I'm sorry, I just got Dia is messaging me on my own personal Instagram. Sorry. Anyways, we had a class where we were all just going to UF, and it was just so strange because it was like, you're going to UF? Yeah, I'm going to UF. I'm going to UF. So we stayed connected. I'm preaching about networking in the real world, but you also have networking in classrooms as well. The people that you're surrounded by are also going to be working in the industry. So make friends. Don't be so antisocial. That's also another bit of my advice. And because of those connections, I was able to collaborate and make creative projects with the people that we all transferred over to UF. So it's always great to have a good rapport with the people that you're trying to glow up in the real world. So okay. That's what Dade did to me. I was able to expand my circle and then even bring those Miami people over.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question. I feel like during my time at Dade, the college has preached a lot of the fact that you need to join clubs and do like outside work experience, volunteer service learning. Did that help you? What kind of clubs did you join, for example?
1,000%. So I think like community colleges in general get this rep that like, oh, there's nothing to do there. Like you just go in and go out. That's not my experience at all. There were so many things for you to get involved in at Dade, especially. I did a little bit of student government. I'm not gonna lie to you, that wasn't my main thing. But I did get involved with Project Hope. Project Hope was a nonprofit organization that I believe was started at Dade. I'm not sure. I have to double check on that. But I ran for vice president and I got it. And my friend was actually the president of it. Her name was Natalie Malaga. And we basically held a lot of fundraisers. We even did our own talent event, and we were raising money for children in Peru who couldn't afford their medical expenses. So to me, like that showed me so much, just to learn to love community and to give back. And that's a major part of what I'm doing right here at the radio station. Like, we're all about community. So that's definitely what I learned at Dade. And that was just a really special time to be involved with that. Other than that, what else was I involved in? I did a lot of the events. Like, I love when it's like school club day and you're walking around, you're getting to know all the other clubs. Like, that's the best part. I know some people line up to get free shirts, but I didn't do that. Like, I actually listened to people and I like to know what they were all about. So, yeah.
Okay. So I guess my last question for you is, what would you say to students at Miami-Dade? What would you like to tell them directly? What words would you give them?
You put in what you put out. If you're going to go in and just take classes and not get involved, you're going to have a mediocre experience. Dade provides you so many avenues and so many projects and clubs and activities for you to get involved in, for you to make the best college experience ever. So I'll never understand that comment. Like, you just go in, you go out. That's not true. Like, I had so many experiences at Dade that I've carried with me and I've still kept up to date with. And my main thing is get involved. Be busy at school, because you're only a student for so long. And trust me, the real world is amazing, but it is also hard work. But if you keep yourself busy, you're not going to feel flustered once you're out there in the real world, because you've been working, you've been creating, you've been making things that make you happy. So make your college experience happy. Miami-Dade College provides you that, for you to have different avenues to get involved in. So do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Thank you for all of the storytelling and all the advice. It's really
For
for a lot
sure.
of students at Miami-Dade.
So you just became editor-in-chief, right?
Yes, that's true. About 2 weeks ago, I think.
2 weeks ago. That's crazy. Adriana, so you came from Venezuela pretty recent as well, right?
Yes, so I moved here 3 years ago from Venezuela. I joined Ronald Reagan High School. I joined the Cambridge program, and then 2 years after, I was at Miami-Dade College, and now I'm editor-in-chief for the newspaper. It happened really fast, to be honest.
That's crazy. How do you feel about that? Because Miami-Dade College is, you don't just do one campus, you're doing all of them, right?
Yes. Well, yeah, of course. I only studied one. I studied North Campus, and before the pandemic, I would spend most of my time at the North Campus office. But yes, I would have to go to Wolfson Campus to like meet with the whole team. Sometimes I'd have to go to Kendall to talk to my writers, and that's when I was an A&E editor only. And now that I'm editor-in-chief, I'm kind of scared about going back and having to like jump campuses. I don't even drive, so I don't know how it's gonna work.
Oh my God, no. We're gonna figure it out. You see, networking, baby, networking. But no, that's amazing, Adriana. You should be so proud about yourself. Like, you're proving the point that you can do anything. You can, and especially at Dade. It's just crazy. It's awesome. Well, I'm very proud of you. That's awesome. Keep me up to date with anything that you do. And if you ever want to do anything at Hits 97.3, let us know. We love to collab. Once again, like, do the internships, because we have them here as well. I'm not sure if we're going to do them around this time because it's COVID. But yeah, definitely. And anybody else in the comments, if you guys have any questions,
Of course.
Adriana, if you want to give her any questions, let me know. The last thing I'm going to ask you, Adriana, how do you balance it all? Because it was hard for me as a college student. Yeah,
for the past 2 weeks, I haven't slept anything. But I guess that's just how it is.
Right.
But no, lately with the reporter as being editor-in-chief, I used to think that I could just organize myself and have like a clear schedule, everything was going to work out, but that's not true. It didn't work out. Things keep popping up. You just have to make sure to do anything that you can ahead of time. Make sure to, get involved. It's not like, it is tiring and it is a busy, it is, you're gonna be busy, but it is very warning at the same time. So it's fine if you don't sleep. It's okay.
But you love it though, right?
I do. I love it. Yeah.
And that's the most important part, because a lot of people think that, oh God, that's so much work. Like that's really like, I'm not enticed to do that. I'm not enticed to get involved with that. But no, like you do the things that you love and you sacrifice things like that, like sleep. Because at the end of the day, it's worth it. So the same thing with me. I get up at 3 a.m. every single day. 3:30. All right. Well, that's awesome, Adriana. Thank you so much. Everyone else, if you guys have any questions, hit her up, hit me up. We're celebrating I Am MDC Day throughout this whole week by doing interviews with alumni and tons of important people. So, Adriana,